What is up, Bradford Bass family? Welcome back to the channel. I'm just out here in the garage rigging some tackle, and I thought, hey, what better time than now to do the third annual review on the Bass Tracker Classic XL. I've ran this boat now for 3 seasons, and I've put this boat through its paces. So if you're somebody that's new to the channel, you should know when I give a review on this boat, it's a review, an honest review from somebody that actually has used this boat a lot. This boat is on the water a lot. I primarily bass fish, so this boat's seen a lot of weed beds, a lot of rock, brush, lily pad fields, bounced off docks, you name it. I got the scratches in the paint to prove it, the blood on the carpet to prove it. So I am somebody that definitely uses my boat. So getting into the review, guys, when I first purchased this boat, for those of you that don't know, I paid $12,995 for the boat, brand new. I bought it in 2020. It's a 2021 model. Now, obviously, I know the prices have changed since then. I think they're somewhere around $16,000, $17,000 sticker price. I could be wrong. I haven't checked in a while. But I still believe it's probably the cheapest boat out there on the market. And ultimately, that was a big part of the reason why I bought this boat. 2 reasons why I bought this boat. One was the price. You know, here in Ohio, we got about 4.5, 5 months the boat is sitting in the garage because there's ice on the lakes. So I didn't want to have something just sitting in the garage and paying this huge, massive boat payment on. The payment I pay on this, guys, is just over $100 a month. That's what I pay on this boat. It's very affordable for me. To have that boat payment. So when this boat is sitting in the garage, I'm not sweating it out too much, opposed to if I had a $600, $700, $800 a month boat payment. It'd be a lot harder to see this boat just sit in the garage. So that's one reason that I purchased this boat. And the other reason was the ability to fully customize this boat. One thing about the Bass Tracker Classic XL, it's a very blank, clean slate boat. And it allows you a lot of modification ideas and opportunities that you can do to this boat. And that really is someone like myself who's very handy, that likes to be crafty. It allowed me to make this boat my own. I've done a ton of modifications on this boat, guys. I have a lot of videos earlier in the channel that you could go check out. I believe I have somewhere around 28 to 29 modifications. To just list a few off, I'm not going to list all of them, but I'll list a few of the main ones. I put a new trolling motor, a Minn Kota Terrova on this boat. I put retractable rod straps in the front deck and the back deck. I built a casting deck extension, which has 2 larger compartments on it now. I built a step glove box type thing between the seats to add additional storage. On the trailer, I put retractable boat buckle tie downs. I've added a 3rd trolling motor battery. I've added all new electronics. I got 3 Garmin UHD models on the boat currently. So I have probably put myself around $5,000 more into the boat than the initial cost. So this boat is not what your boat's going to look like when you first purchase it, from whether you buy it from Bass Pro or wherever. But it's kind of gives you the idea or the potential of things that you can do to this boat to make it your own. So now that we've talked about all of that, let's get into the actual review process. And starting off, guys, I must say, as an overall perception, the boat has still been great. I caught a lot of bass this year. I caught a lot of bass the year before. I have put so many bass in this boat, and it's pretty much done everything I ever hoped it would do for me. I really honestly have 0 complaints about this boat. I would purchase this boat 20 times over. I really would. It's done everything I needed it to do. Quality-wise, the carpet has thinned out maybe a little bit. There's a few more little rust spots on the trailer, but it's not corroding. It's not too bad. But other than that, other than just like cosmetic stuff, which is my own doing, you know, I don't know if you can see this right here beside me, scratches on the boat, scratches in the paint. That's about it. I got a little spot right here where I put this bumper guard on. I hit it on the dock, tore it up, but I put this bumper guard on the boat so it wouldn't chip the paint up. So that thing did its job. So overall, I have nothing negative to say about the boat, guys. I really don't. The one con I've always had with this boat, and I've had with this boat since day one, is it's not very wide. You know, I'm a big guy. You know, I weigh 350 pounds. I'm a big dude. This boat is stable. I don't ever feel like I'm going to fall in the lake, but if you get in some chop, you know, you got some big boat waves coming or anything like that, you gotta brace yourself and hold onto the seat a little bit, because it is a very narrow platform that you're standing on. And I don't know how much that changes if you're a smaller guy or not, but I feel like being a bigger guy, it probably makes that worse. So that might be more of a personal problem than an actual boat problem, but I do wish the boat was wider. And that's probably honestly always been my number one complaint, really, when it comes to this boat. The gas on it's great. This 4-stroke 50 horsepower Mercury, it sips gas, guys. I still have the 6-gallon tank in my boat, and I've never needed more. I know a lot of these guys put 12-gallon tanks. Maybe you're fishing massive bodies of water and you're just running all the time. But for me personally, I've never come close to running it empty. I mean, I took this boat down to Lake Cumberland for 3 days. We rented a houseboat, and I had this tied up to a houseboat. And I ran this thing all day long and fished all around Cumberland for 3 days and never had to put gas in it. So one thing I do, though, is I carry a little 2-gallon, pretty much emergency oh shit can in my back compartment, just in case I would ever run out. I had enough gas to get me back. But the 6 gallons is plenty for me. But like I said, if you're fishing a massive body of water and you're making long miles upon miles runs, then maybe upgrading to the 12-gallon tank is something you want to do. But it's a very easy modification. And like I said, guys, the best thing about this boat, in my opinion, other than the price, is the ability to modify this boat. I mean, it's limitless. It's kind of like a blank slate. The trailer, it's got a few little rust spots on it. But it's not corroding. It's held up pretty good. Yeah, I still have the original batteries in this boat even. I did add a 3rd trolling motor battery, but the original 2 interstate batteries, they're still in this boat. I mean, and it's showing no signs of wear. Now, at some point here, it might be this year coming up, my 4th season, I might have to change them out. I don't know. But that brings me to this point. The number one modification you could do to this boat is to put an onboard battery charger. If you put an onboard battery charger in your boat, and when you get off the water and you put it in your garage or you park it outside, put a cover on it, whatever it is, plug your batteries in immediately. If you live somewhere that freezes over, like where I live, keep your batteries charging all winter long. Keep them on charge. That charger will help keep those batteries conditioned and give you the most life out of those batteries as possible. So, like I said, guys, it's pretty much the same review as I did in year 2. There's really no cons. I've had no quality control issues. I've had no cracks, no leaks, none of that. Knock on wood. Oh, one thing that has changed. Well, I wouldn't say it's changed. I did fish a few more tournaments this year in this boat. And I can now tell you that live well, the 9-gallon live well, it'll hold somewhere between 12 to 18 pounds of bass, probably 20 pounds of bass if you really, depending on how those bass are. Like if you caught a couple 5 or 6 pounders, longer fish, it might be a little tight. But I've had some 12-pound bags in there and they're fine. You know, put a bubbler in there, run that bubbler the whole time, put some live well treatment like some G-Juice in there, and you ain't gonna have no issues. Now, if you're somebody that lives down south or one of these states where they're catching these 25, 30-pound bags or whatever on their frequent, then yeah, that live well is not going to be big enough for what you need. But if you're catching 10, 11, 12, 13, 14-pound bags on a regular, that live well is everything you're going to need. It's fine. As long as you treat the fish right and manage the fish right, you won't have no issues. So I did learn that about the boat this year, because I really debated about putting a bigger live well in it, but I've had no reason to. It's held up fine. I haven't had a fish die on me yet, so knock on wood. Really, guys, it's like I said, it's a great boat. Now, will I sell this boat eventually? Yes, I will eventually sell this boat. Simply because I just want to get something bigger that's better suited for like Great Lakes. Now, I have had this boat out on Lake Erie, and I made it back alive. I'm not going to say it's the best boat in rough water, but it does the job. It got me from point A to point B, and I think it's about 2.5, 3 footers that day. Had to take it slow, but it got me back safe. So If I ever do sell the boat, though, I want to get something that's just more suited for bigger water. I like to really go after smallmouth bass, and a lot of times those smallmouth live on those bigger types of body of water. So I will upgrade eventually, but it's not going to be this year. I will be running the Bass Tracker Classic XL again for the 4th year. So you'll probably be seeing a 4-year annual review come this time next year. Don't really have a lot else to say about the boat, guys. I wish I had more descriptions or more details to give you, but I've kind of already talked about everything about this boat that's possible to talk about. I mean, I've showed you guys all the modifications. I've done 2 years worth of reviews on it. I've told you measurements, dimensions, gas mile. I told you everything that you could want to know about this boat already, so there's not really a lot else I can add other than I'm very satisfied with this boat still 3 seasons later. And if you're a big guy and you're wondering if this boat's big enough for you, it's fine. Like I said, I'm 350 pounds. It does the job. The boat's not going to sink. It will not sink. If you're worried about exceeding the weight limit, the boat will not sink. It will not. So you're fine. It's a good boat. It's about all I can really say about it, guys. If you're thinking about buying it, go out and buy it. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. So that's all I got for this one, guys. Everybody stay safe out there, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.